So we're going to dive into the topic, how to teach yoga online affordably. So Ashley, I know I introduced you, but if you have anything else to add there, we'd love to hear
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and to be talking about this topic. And so thank you to Lizzie for all the information, and definitely check out beYogi. They're great yoga insurance, liability insurance company. All right. And it was fun to see a few comments here of how much people think or don't know how much online it costs to be an online yoga teacher. We have 50, no idea, $100 a month, 34 a month. Who knows? And it really can range, but I am actually going to be breaking down some of the actual numbers today and the cost of what it could potentially cost and how it can be more affordable, or if you have more of a budget or a bigger budget, how you can improve and upgrade. So let's get to the actual conversation of how to teach online affordably. So here we go. And if there are any questions, yes, just put them in the chat, and I'll pause every so often to answer them if there's a natural pause or break. And we'll be answering some questions at the end too. Okay, here we go. Let's get the chat window open just so I can see it, just in case. Where are we at? There we go. So hopefully I'm bringing some energy today because I'm actually standing at my desk, which actually is just a little tip for you, is you will find yourself presenting and being more energetic if you're standing versus sitting. So I am actually very excited to talk about how to teach online affordably as a yoga teacher, but this can also apply to really any industry that needs an online presence, whether that's someone doing webinars or business calls. The equipment that you need to be online and to make a business and as an online entrepreneur, it's going to be similar. There are some different little things I want you to take note of as a yoga teacher. So I will be more specific to wellness entrepreneurs and yoga teachers. But if you have any questions, again, please just ask as we move forward. Oops. And here we go. And this is hosted by beYogi. I'm a guest on their webinar series, which is great. beYogi, yoga insurance for yoga teachers. So they have tons of policies, and they probably cover you from online to offline to memberships to YouTube to all sorts of things. So make sure to check them out. And there's a little discount with my code, beyogi.com/ashesyoga. So who is this for? Hopefully those of you watching, it's yoga teachers who want to teach online, and a little bit more specifically through video, but not necessarily. But if you want to teach yoga online, you're wondering how to start, how to do so affordably, what are the numbers, how much do I have to pull out of my pockets, and how can I have good quality and confidence and not spend a ton of money? So you want to earn an income by teaching online and doing more with this World Wide Web, but you also might have to invest a little bit into that in order to see the return. But how much is that? If you're here and you're not a yoga teacher or anything interested at all in any of this, then obviously this webinar is not for you. I also want to note that I am not diving into marketing strategies or how to fill your yoga classes. What I'm doing is giving you the base and foundation of what it costs to get started and run a yoga business or a wellness business online. So as a solo yoga teacher, not a yoga studio, but usually a solo person wanting to get going. So if you don't, or if you're not interested in online teaching, if you want to stay completely offline, disconnected from the internet, I think that's great. If you can do that, go for it. I give you all the encouragement I can. If you want to grow your business without the internet, that's cool too. If you want to stay working for other people as employees, again, good on you. And if you're not interested in learning these kinds of skills with online yoga, teaching, technology, and equipment. So let's get started. As we do, we go to the Instagram, and do some research, right? Anyone else researching through Instagram stories? And I was asking some questions to my audience. And if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at Ashes Yoga. And so I was asking people, primarily my audience of yoga teachers, if they enjoy teaching online. 40% said they love it. 51% said they want to. That's the people that I'm trying to talk to here, is those of you saying, I want to, I just don't really know how to start, or I don't have that encouragement to do it. It's kind of foreign to me. And then I asked them, how much do you think it costs? How much does teaching online yoga cost? Is it too much? Well, no one said it was too much. Most people said it was manageable, but it's a little bit of a stretch. It's pulling out of your funds that you typically wouldn't be spending things on. So, and then second, people said it was quite affordable. And some people even said zero. I have exactly what I need and I don't have to spend anything. That's great. So it's still manageable. And then with teaching online, most people said they're slowly upgrading in time, which is my recommendation. It's not to get all of the tech and equipment and have everything before you get started. It's to get started first and slowly upgrade. So most people are doing that. And then I asked, how much have you spent to teach yoga online? And this is a good number. We've got most people between $0 and $500. Most are between that, for all over how much does it cost to get started. Now, some people are spending a little bit more than that, but again, we will break down those numbers in this more towards the end of this as you tell you what's absolutely needed to get started. So Instagram is great for research. And I don't know, I think like 150 people answering these. So in essence, you only need two things to actually teach yoga online. You only absolutely need these two things, and they're mostly free. What are they? A topic to teach, which is yoga, and number two, access to the internet. You don't need anything else to teach yoga online or any topic online. You need Wi-Fi and a topic to teach on, and the skills to teach on that topic, of course, a topic and access to the internet. So why do we complicate things? Well, nothing else is absolutely necessary, like all the equipment and all the stuff, but upgrading and having some of this other equipment helps us with our quality. It helps us with our safety, peace of mind for us and our students. It's convenient, and it helps build our confidence. So it is nice to have a few extra things, although you don't, in order to get started, you need internet and a topic to teach on. So who am I to tell you all about this? Well, we did a little introduction already, but some of you may have seen me, maybe not, in other places. My name's Ashley. I'm in Poulsbo, Washington, which is in the Seattle area. I have a YouTube channel, which is primarily where a lot of people found or have seen me show up online. I talk a lot about technology for yoga teachers, the equipment that you need, the mistakes that you make, and more so helping yoga teachers with the confidence to put themselves out there. So my YouTube channel literally just hit 19,000 subscribers yesterday, which was really cool to see. But subscriber count is really not the thing I'm looking at. It's mostly just seeing the comments and people saying how grateful they are for the help that's been provided through my videos for my microphones. Anybody here find me through my microphone videos? I always like to ask that. Say yes if you found me through a YouTube microphone video. Yeah, I saw one video performing well, so I ended up making a bunch of different comparisons and answering a lot more questions with microphones. Exactly, the Rode Wireless Go microphone video, that's how a lot of people found me through YouTube, and then I am in other places as well. All right, so my timeline a little bit, just to tell you a little bit more and why I'm so excited to talk about the tech and equipment side of all of this. It's something that actually really lights me up. Is I was a full-time graphic designer working in a marketing department back in the day, and I quit my full-time job in 2013 after yoga teacher training. I quit, I did 200-hour training. I said, I'm going to be a yoga teacher. And yes, that was really hard. I started teaching 15 or more classes a week at 5 different gyms, lots of workshops, eventually leading teacher trainings. I knew it wasn't sustainable, especially if I ever wanted to have a family. If I ever were to have children, this would not work. In 2018, I quit everything, had a baby, and I then really had nothing at that point. And I'm starting, and in 2018, I started where a lot of yoga teachers in 2020 found themselves, where they taught a ton of in-person classes, and then a hiccup happened in the world, and you're forced to be online, or you have to find something else. And so in 2018, that was my 2020 pretty much. I was pregnant. I had no teaching jobs. I was in debt. I was broke. I didn't know what to do. So what did I have? I had the internet, and I had some time, and I had a skill to teach. I had a skill to teach, and I had the internet. So that's what I did. I started putting myself on YouTube without a strategy, anything. I just got started. I had an old camera, no fancy microphone, no fancy anything. And I just used what I had. And that was the start of this slow growth process of building on YouTube, and also just growing my online presence as a yoga teacher. In 2019, I ended up buying a yoga studio, and then what happened 5 months later. And then that closed 2 years later, actually completely closed in December, because it's expensive. And I started to grow completely online. And I want you also, actually, we'll talk about that, how it's not just video that's teaching online. There's so much more that you can do. And nowadays, I've started to simplify. I cut out what wasn't working. I've doubled down on what's best for me and my family, which is working from home. This is such a great opportunity right now for all of us as yoga teachers and wellness professionals to have a low overhead job, career, business, really, that you don't have to pay high expenses to rent a space or to build out a space. And I've done it. I know the cost of that. It is not cheap. And I will tell you that owning your own studio space or renting your space is going to be at least 10 to 20, if not more times higher than the cost of running an online business. So now I pay my expenses. I dug myself out of that debt I had gotten in, and I take weekends off. I can travel. I have much more flexibility because that's what an online business provides. I live a life that I love, and I teach what lights me up. And I hope that you do too, or you're getting there. One of the biggest myths about online yoga teaching is that you can't afford the equipment, and technology is confusing. And I have to tell you a little story about that. So I had just started teaching online again after my studio closed in 2020, as we did in March. And just prior to that, I was recommended this microphone. Again, some of you have seen my videos, the Rode Wireless Go. My friend recommended it, and she said, you've got to try it. It was something I wish I would have had in 2018, 2017, when I was getting started. A wireless microphone, that sounds amazing. To be able to talk, have good audio, and not have to do voiceovers, not have to edit in afterwards. And I looked at it and I thought, $200, okay, I don't have money, my studio's closed. So at the time I asked, who was my partner, we're not together anymore, I asked, should I get this microphone? I think it will help my yoga teaching. And he said to me, you can't afford that. No. And it was devastating, but you know what? I bought it anyway. It's probably why we're not together anymore. I bought it anyway, and I can't tell you how much it improved my confidence, how much money it's earned me because of what I'm able to do with it, and how much more just has happened since I got a simple little microphone. So it's not just a piece of equipment. It's so much more than that. When you have decent quality, you feel better. It's like when you dress up, or when you put clothes on or do your hair, when you look better, or when you feel like you look better, you feel better inside and outside, and you can show up your best. So that's the same with when your quality is good. It doesn't have to be perfect, but good. You can do so much more. Yeah, the Rode Wireless Go, I will actually mention a few different brands as well, just because I have tried a few of them, and I have some pictures of them too. But I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel that talk about microphones and equipment. So here's the deal though, when it comes to yoga teaching online, we think yoga teaching looks like this. This is me in my living room. It looks pretty good. I've got a good webcam and good lighting, and like we think yoga teaching is us on video. Or maybe like this. This is from glow.com, where you've got someone teaching to a class online, and that's how online yoga teaching is. That's what yoga teacher training at the 200-hour level teaches us to teach a group yoga class. It teaches us how to teach in teaches us to keep people safe in a group yoga setting. What it doesn't teach us is how to share yoga in other ways beyond the group yoga setting. Now, yes, there are one-on-one sessions. Yes, there are other ways to teach yoga in a group or in person. But what about through ebooks? What about through courses? What about infographics or PDFs or things that you can provide to people? Or what I'm doing here, like a presentation where you come up with some information to share the information that isn't necessarily in video, look at me doing poses types of ways. So I just want you to be aware that there are a lot of ways to teach yoga online and offline, and it doesn't just involve showing up and doing some poses. There's so much more. So it can include creating a podcast if you like talking. It can be blogs if you like writing, books, guest interviews, creating digital products, doing groups like book clubs and whatnot, creating courses that have multiple facets to them. So there's so much more that you can do that don't include video necessarily, although it could. But for the sake of this, I am going to be talking about the equipment for video component of yoga teaching, because video is it's probably the most I don't want to say expensive, but it's the most equipment that you'll probably need. And because that is the way most people view teaching, is a Zoom class or an online yoga class on YouTube. So I understand that, so I want to talk about it. But I also want you to know and understand that there are a lot of other ways you can show up without teaching on video and build a business. My first product I ever sold online as a yoga teacher was my 10-step yoga class creation ebook. It wasn't a video, it wasn't me teaching yoga, it was an ebook for $27. And I'll share with you how much I made from that ebook, but it got me started. I'll just say it now, I made $7,000 from that ebook that was $27. And with that, I was able to reinvest to then get the equipment that I needed to do video or to enhance my audio. So there is going to be a little reinvesting process and upgrading slowly. So we'll talk about more of the video component, since that seems to be the curiosity. Video is the quickest and most effective way to get your message out there. It really is, especially now with social media. If you go to Instagram, it's going to be short form video, Instagram Reels. On Facebook, a lot of live streams. On YouTube, that is pretty much all video. So that is the quickest way. But what do we need? What things do we need in order to make any of this happen? Let's break it down. We've got 3 categories that'll help you enhance your quality, keep your students safe, and save you time through automation. Number 1, equipment. I think that's what most people think of when they think of investing in an online business, is what equipment do I need? But then there's the software. So equipment is the hardware, the tangible things, the things you can touch. Software is the inside, the digital space. Software is what's going to keep you less stressed, because it allows you to streamline the process of client registration. And then insurance, and insurance is important too. And I think we all need and should have yoga teacher liability insurance, of course. So that's going to be on that list too. And this is a webinar by beYogi. So just know, check out beYogi for all your insurance needs. But let's break down each of these. Let's go through equipment. And go ahead and leave a comment. What equipment do you have for online yoga teaching? Just leave like a type of microphone, lighting. Do you have anything right now? And if you don't, that's okay. What equipment do you have as you are getting going? You have a ring light. Some people have ring lights. There are softbox lights. There are cameras. So what are the 3 things? These are the 3 main things you'll need for equipment. Something to film with, or camera. Nice. A microphone or something for your audio, and lighting. And some are more affordable than others. Some are free. So let's go through each of these then and break that down. What are your options? What are your options? So this, again, this is just an example of what the setup could be like. If you are filming yoga classes in this way, I will give you a little note. With the way that your camera is set up, you want it at waist height. Waist height and about 6 to 8 feet away from you so that you're able to see your full body shot. Now, if it's not possible, that's okay. Use what you have, do what you can. But there are some cameras that will help you with wide angle versus having it really like tucked in and you can't see your head or your head gets cut off. So there are some cameras that can help you with this. This is an example of natural lighting. So I have natural lighting through some big windows. And then this is studio lighting with one light on me. This is a hybrid class I was teaching where I was actually teaching to live participants at the same time that I was recording myself from the side view. So it's just a couple of views that just give you some ideas for the setup. So having clothing that is high contrast from the background without anything distracting in the background, that's just to have your setup. That shouldn't be additional cost. It's just tips for you for setups, not to blend into your background too much so that your silhouette can be seen. And here are your camera options. We've got, you can use your phone. I mean, to be honest, a phone is really great quality as far as videos or some kind of mobile device, an iPad, whatnot, especially the new iPhones, they're great. Logitech webcam is what I use if you have a computer. And I do recommend using a computer because if you are on Zoom at all, you're going to have a lot more options and functionality. So that's my big recommendation is computer with a webcam. And I really love my Logitech Brio. It's a 4K wide angle webcam, although I did start with a Logitech C920, which was $70 or $60. The Brio is about $160. So there's some cost difference, but definitely a quality difference. You could use a fancy camera. I never recommend that. I don't even own a fancy camera, a DSLR, or likewise, if you have one and you're just getting started out, I will tell you it will confuse you more than anything. So pick something that's not going to confuse you so much or stop you in your tracks. And that's going to be a phone, a webcam. If you don't have a webcam, just using your laptop is fine as you're getting started before upgrading so that you can get started, make a little bit of income, and then reinvest for that better quality. If you are using your phone, you might consider getting a tripod so that your phone doesn't fall everywhere. So don't forget about a tripod if needed. For webcams, a lot of times they just sit on top of your computer and there's no tripod needed. Someone asked about a GoPro. That could work. You'd have to look up. If you can attach a GoPro as your webcam, definitely. Any kind of camera that you can attach as a webcam through your computer, go for it. There's probably a way you can YouTube it, something, whatever you have, use what you have. If you have a GoPro, if you do have a DSLR camera and you just need a simple cable of some kind that can connect it to your computer, awesome. I can't get on all the tech of that because every camera will be a little bit different. So again, yes, use what you have. So I said the Logitech Brio 4K wide angle webcam, which is what I like because I live in a small space and my camera is only about 6 feet away from me. And if you notice the wall and the top, the ceiling actually bows out a little bit, but it looks normal in the middle. So it just sort of widens everything. And you can also see a little bit more color pop on that left side where there's a kid toy there. It's a little more colorful, it's wider, and I don't need much space at all. So that's why I really like the Logitech webcam. If you're using a computer, you cannot attach a webcam to your phone or tablet. It takes up too much juice and power. It's just not possible. And any kind of computer will work for this. So let's now go to the audio options. And I'm going to price all of these out more towards the end. So I'll give you the actual numbers for my recommendations. Microphone options for your classes, my opinion, and many I think, is that a microphone is the most important thing that you need to have as a yoga teacher because it's your voice that people are noticing the most. They're in the zone on their yoga mat. They're not staring at you unless they're brand new and they're just watching and seeing what you're doing. but they might only just be glancing up for a moment. So they're really going to be hearing you more than anything else. And honestly, a yoga class could just be a podcast. It could just be audio if your verbal cues are on point. So microphone is going to be very important. It's what people hear. Um, it's what people are needing to be led through a class. So you have a couple options. The internal microphone in your phone or computer, that's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. It works again to get started. You can use AirPods or some sort of Bluetooth microphone. If you have AirPods connected to an iPhone, that's awesome too. The quality's again decent. It's better than your internal camera. These are not going from worst to best, but they are what they are. So AirPods are decent and they can work, but they do have a slight tunnel-like sound, but they're still going to be pretty good. I don't like things in my ears personally as I'm leading yoga, and they always fall out, but regardless. The next one would be something like Rode Wireless Go, which is what I have. It's a wireless microphone that transmits wirelessly. I've been using mine for 2 years. There's also Rode Wireless Go 2 that includes 2 microphones. And I also want to shout out this one too. It's pretty decent. It's the affordable option. This is the Deity Pocket Wireless. I'm holding it up here. This actually comes with all the cables that you would need to get started. You don't have to buy anything extra. Whereas a lot of people found me on YouTube because there are specific cables you need to buy separately for the Rode Wireless Go. And so people will ask that in the YouTube search and my videos pop up. So that's, but I've been using the Rode Wireless Go for 2 years. It's still awesome. No issues. I love it. I'm going to use it till it dies. You can also add a lavalier or a headset. And I have a couple of those actually too that I've reviewed, some more expensive, some cheaper. And if you like things closer to your face or you need a headset, then there are options. And another option, which I really like, is something like a stand mic or a stereo mic. I'm using right now for this webinar, the Blue Yeti mic. And that's a really great microphone if you're up close to your computer, or it's for podcasting, and it has a really great sound. So here are some options for you. For yoga teaching, if you're doing a lot of demo, I recommend a wireless microphone of some kind. If you are up next to your computer, there are other options, of course. So this is the Rode Wireless Go, and I have this picture up here just to mention the additional cables needed to plug it into your laptop do not come with the Rode Wireless Go. So if you're going to purchase this specific microphone, you will need that red coil cable, which is called an SC7 Rode cable. And then there's this USB attachment. Just depends on your computer. Some people will need the USB-C attachment, but just know, I just have to share that. So go to my YouTube channel or reach out to me. I enjoy troubleshooting with anybody who has questions about the tech stuff. So again, I have an entire YouTube playlist. It's got about 25 videos dedicated to just talking about the wireless microphones for online teaching. Search for my name and I'll pop up. And the third thing with equipment is lighting. Natural light, not backlit, is a great option. So you don't want a window behind you. Lamps are really nice. If you just have lamps, place them in different places for you. A ring light is okay, more so for the direct to camera. If you're close up, I'm using a ring light right now. Softbox light kit is my recommendation if you have the space. Having 2 lights on the sides of you pointing from the sides at you, and then maybe 1 directly on you. So you have that 3-point light system, 2 on the side, 1 in the front. Awesome. If you just have 2 on the sides, that's cool too. It will get rid of any shadows. And it also helps to be a little farther from the background, so not just bumped up to a wall. So that's for your lighting options. Start with natural lighting. This is the last thing I would recommend investing in is lighting, because there are always ways to find, in your home, ways to find lighting a little bit better. And it's not as big a deal as, let's say, your audio, your voice. But if you're ready to upgrade, you may want to. So that was equipment. Questions on equipment. Let's see. Any ideas for outdoor hybrid classes? Well, yes. That's tough. I will just say that's tough. That would be something I would recommend going and asking in somewhere like my Facebook group. So I'm not the go-to expert on all the things, but you can get a ton of questions like that. I have a Facebook group of 30,000 people, yoga sequencing and teaching tips. If you go there and ask a question on things like hybrid yoga or search in the search box, you can get a lot of opinions on those things. So that is a great place for asking questions like that. But we're going to keep
Actually,
going with
real
online.
quick on that.
Yes.
What was the title of that again? So I can just add it to the chat real
Yes.
quickly.
Yoga sequencing and teaching tips. Here. It's actually at that link. So
You got it. Perfect.
group/Ashes Yoga is my Facebook group. It's a great place for questions where you're going to get a lot of people answering them, including myself and a lot of my moderators. Okay, software. So now we've talked about equipment and the basics that you'll need. Software, you'll need some sort of recording software, which likely you have in your recording device. A scheduling and booking software, highly recommended. It's going to create so much ease for you and lessen your stress load. You want payment processing, which often is connected to your scheduling software. And then also some sort of way to manage your emails or your clients. So again, some of these are connected and go hand in hand, but you might have to find your own sort of method if you're trying to save money or if you're doing, if you have your own ways. So each of these, a recording software. This can simply be the video that's on your phone. If you're creating a YouTube video, you can just film it to your phone, and that's a recording software, your camera on your phone. Social media live stream is also recording software. You go live on Facebook or on YouTube. Zoom is a recording software. Right now we're recording, so Zoom is also wonderful. For a Mac computer, I recommend QuickTime Movie Recorder. If you don't have a Mac or if it doesn't work for you for some reason, OBS stands for Open Broadcasting Software. Watch some YouTube videos on that to help you out with it. QuickTime and OBS will give you much better quality of a shot than Zoom will. Zoom will often compress or make your quality blurry, and I'll show you that here. So you can kind of see it. This was my old webcam, but on the left, I've got QuickTime. On the right, I've got Zoom. So Zoom recording, you'll see it, like look at it in my face. If you just look back and forth, notice the difference. My face is a little more fuzzy. It's not bad, but it's also not great. Whereas the one on the left is decent. It's decent. And that might make just a little bit of a difference for you to feel like, yeah, I want to put this out there. I want this to be a YouTube video. I want to repurpose this. Whereas if the quality is blurry, it's not so great, you might not feel as great about it. So what I often do is I will record using QuickTime or OBS for those not on a Mac at the same time that I'm on Zoom. This ensures that it's only me being seen. I can set the microphone and the camera at the same time using the same thing. Yep, yeah, I use my same camera, same microphone, same everything, and I hit the record button, and I also teach on Zoom. So I use them simultaneously, same camera setup. So this is where you'll see on this left side here, I am setting my microphone and setting my webcam, and I have the same webcam and same microphone set on Zoom. I just don't record on Zoom. If you wanted to double up the recording for a backup, that's always good. But I oftentimes will just record to QuickTime, export it at 720p, and the recording size is going to be about 6 times larger. So save that bad boy to an external hard drive because it's going to take up space on your computer. So external hard drive if you're doing it this way. So with video, I will record separately for better quality. Again, that just makes me more confident in my video that I'm sending out to the world with the recording, and it just feels better. And when I feel better, I present better. And so that's what I try to do. If you're just recording on Zoom, great place to get started. Don't worry too much about what I'm saying, but in time, you may want to upgrade. With your scheduling and booking options, you might consider something like Offering Tree, which is what I use, Acuity Scheduling, or Calendly is free appointments. There's a lot of softwares out there for appointments. I'm a fan of Offering Tree. I'm also a big promoter of them. I think they're great. It's an all-in-one, so it takes away all of the stress of all the things that you might have to do manually, like those email back and forth and setting up Zoom integration, so connecting things together. Acuity is great too. That one's $15 a month, but you'll expect to pay between $15 and $50 as a solo yoga teacher, depending on your needs. So it is going to vary. I would say start with a lower price option, free trial, low price option. And what I always do is I start there and then make the money in order to upgrade. So start with what you have, start with the low price option and upgrade as you need to. If you don't have a website yet, which you don't need a website. I will say that. I do have a background in web design, graphic design, and making websites and coding and all that stuff. And I will say right now, you don't need any of that. If you do get started and you want a website or a landing page that's easy to navigate, I still recommend Offering Tree. I do have a discount code there, offeringtree.com/ashes. I talk about it a lot. I'm actually creating the intro course for them. So this is a big thing that I talk about in my business, is having a foundation set to make it easy for you and your students to book you and get started. If it's complicated, if you say, email me to get started, and then you have long conversations back and forth, it's less likely someone's actually going to keep that conversation going. So just have it easy to book, 2 clicks, and they should be where they want to be. So my current classes are set up on Offering Tree as pay what you want. They could easily be paid classes, not because I undervalue myself, but because I use it to build my email list, and therefore then I can upsell products and services. You can set memberships, packages, series, events, all that, on-demand libraries, and so much more. It kind of feels like an ad just placed right in the middle of this presentation, but it is and it isn't. I think it's awesome. It's just so easy to set this up and then just have it there for you. So then you can run your business and actually earn the income to pay yourself and the fees and anything you need for your equipment. With payment processing, you will need some way to process credit cards. And if you're only taking cash or checks and that's it, it's going to really limit you in your ability to do online classes, because online it's credit cards, right? Stripe, Square, PayPal, Venmo. It's free to sign up. They often take a small percentage. That is the cost of doing business. Do not concern yourself with their 2%. It's just what you got to do. It's what you got to do to make it convenient for you and your clients. So this usually links directly with your scheduling software. And then email management, you can do that through your scheduling software, a spreadsheet if you really wanted to. There are other email softwares out there. I also use ConvertKit. I'm not going to get too much into that, but these just might be an additional cost that you may or may not need for your online business. But I do recommend having some sort of way to manage a client email list, right? And ConvertKit and MailChimp are free up to a certain size. Offering Tree is linked with your booking system. It's the all-in-one. You can use that for your emails too. You don't need all of them. These are just options, the popular ones that I've heard of. And if you do pay for them, it's between like $10 and $30 per month. It's usually a subscription. Okay. Other software you may consider using, whether or not you're on video, Canva.com. Anyone a Canva lover? You can waste a lot of time in Canva doing designs and graphics. So Canva is another one that's really great. Woo, Canva. And I don't use Canva, but I woohoo at it because it's so great for people it's a non-designer's design program and it's free. So it's great. So using that, you can actually do slides, and I think you can do video type stuff in there too. Video thumbnails for sure, like YouTube thumbnails, that what you see over the image on the screen. You can make a lot of things on Canva. Someone says they use Final Cut Pro. Exactly. Yeah, you can use Final Cut, Adobe Premiere if you're editing software. These are not required though. Not required to get started. You don't need to edit any videos even as you're getting started. You might want to trim off the ends, perhaps. You can actually do that right from, I think, your browser, trimming videos, but you don't need to edit videos. Yes, tummy.com is one that I recommend. It's creating different like PDFs and sequences. So that might help you as a yoga teacher if you want to share sequences. And that's a way you can build an online business without being on video, is to build those sequences. And because my Facebook group is yoga sequencing and teaching tips, you'll see this tummy.com recommended a lot. iMovie or any other video editing softwares. Windows Media Player is a simple video editing for Windows, and any other helpful apps you might use. So you might find some apps that are like video editing, or like I use this app called Word Swag, which is just putting text over pictures for graphics. So things just to consider, and I wanted to just make note of in case there's a few other things you needed to do in your business. And most of these are free. Tummy.com is not free. It's like $8 a month or $54 a year, but some people really love it. Okay. And the last thing that you need of the three that I talked about categories is insurance. I don't need to talk too much on this. I'm just going to, my only bullet point is beYogi, because they're hosting this webinar, of course, and they have really great insurance. They have the educational point with these webinars. They're so friendly. So if you are in the US, consider beYogi. If you're in a different country, you might search in certain Facebook groups like my own. Just search yoga liability insurance and your country, or ask what there is, or Google too. Check out how much they cover, and especially check out how much they cover for online. If they do cover YouTube videos or recorded videos, or if it's just those that have a gated entry like signups and whatnot. So check in on that. So what's the actual cost? Drum roll. What's the actual cost of having all of this? Getting all this started. Okay, quick reminder. Get started with what you have, and upgrade as you earn the income to do so, to reinvest in your business. So you can get started on very minimal, make the monies, and then reinvest. Okay. I'm going to go through each. Can we go back to review? Okay. You missed the first few minutes. Okay. Well, I did do the equipment, camera, microphone, and lighting. And there's a few options for those, but I'll do a quick review too. I'm actually going to price all of those out. So if for good quality, for safety, for convenience, and for what I would recommend if you had a budget of, just if you had a budget, if you had any kind of budget, or just said, hey, I just want to get started, and tell me what I need. What do I need if I want to get all the things right now? Okay. Recommended cost of running a yoga business. If I just said, here's all the things that I would recommend. Number one, a webcam. Let's assume you have a computer. Most people do. A webcam, and I just checked, it's $160 for the Logitech Brio. I love it. A wireless microphone is going to range anywhere from $150 to $250. So that's up to you. The Deity Pocket Wireless here I showed you is $169. The Rode Wireless Go is $200 plus some cable, so it's more like $230 in US dollars, and it depends on your country as well. A ring light or a light kit of some kind, if you want additional lighting, you're in the dark sometimes, is maybe about $75 for a couple of box lights or for a ring light. Prices change so frequently with this, so I can't tell you exactly, but I'm just giving an estimate. And then for the software and annual fees that you'll need, let's say insurance, it's about $150 to $200 a year, so $169. Offering tree, if you're going the yearly annual rate, you can start with it being $224. That breaks down to $22 a month. And then Zoom is $150 per year. So that's if you were doing annually, and with the equipment that you only need to buy one time. So in total, the equipment that you would need is between $400 and $500 for equipment if you were to get all the things at once. And then your annual fees are going to be about $543 if you use what I would actually recommend to make it really easy on yourself. And so that's about $1,000 or a little less to get set up for a full year. Think of it as a full year, not just one time, but a full year at least, with everything that you need to run your yoga business safely, with good quality, and with confidence. So over 12 months is $83 per month to run a business. That's really not a lot. That to me sounds super affordable for a business that you're making money on. So hopefully with this, that could be one private lesson you do per month to pay for what you need for the year of teaching. If you do multiple private lessons, that's just profit. If you do other, if you teach, group classes or anything, someone said, don't forget your annual recertification costs. Well, if you actually, I don't know that there are recertification costs. If you're talking about Yoga Alliance, that's optional. Yoga Alliance registration is completely optional. So that's why it's not in here. So that is something that you can make the decision on for yourself. And what I did say at the beginning of this is I am not teaching you marketing, how to get all the clients. That's an entirely different topic. And I do teach on that. But in this webinar, I'm sharing with you the costs associated so you can see that it is possible. But I will share a couple ways that you can make money. Let's say if you don't have $1,000 right up front, you're like, there's no way I can just pay annually for everything and pay for all the equipment. That's okay. Start with improving your audio quality first, a microphone, or get AirPods, or there are microphones for $100. Or if you have AirPods, use them. Yoga insurance is a must, and that's for anybody. That's for, online or offline. I would say pay monthly then for software. You definitely want the ease of using software for registration for your classes. With Offering Tree, there's a discount of $14.50 for your first 3 months, and then it's $29 a month. Or Acuity scheduling is $15 a month, and then Zoom is $15. So that's going to be about a total of, like, to get started upfront, insurance and microphone, about $269 plus $30 per month to get started. Yes. Well, how about even less than that? Forget about all of that. Forget about software, Zoom, fancy equipment. Yes, hopefully you have insurance. Maybe you purchased it already. You can start with a Facebook group and email for $0. Collect people's email addresses, start with a Facebook group, and start teaching. Start sharing. And how do you get people? You start solving people's problems. Solve people's problems, get super specific, go do some trainings on how to discover and find your niche or your niche, your focus, the problem and the topic that you're teaching on, and get specific. The more specific you get, the easier it's going to find clients, the easier it is for you. So my super specific example is I teach and troubleshoot the Rode Wireless Go microphone for yoga teachers. That's super specific. And I did that through YouTube, therefore getting an audience that then now is following me for other things. But I got specific first, and then I branched out from there. So specificity first. So you can start for free. Start with Facebook group, but start also charging for your services, and then reinvest that profit. So it's not just going right into your pocket, reinvest some of that to upgrade into the software and the equipment that you need. So we want to start selling your services as soon as possible to recoup those costs. How do you do that? Here's what you can offer. One-on-one private lessons. It could be Zoom lessons. It can be selling recordings. You can do coaching or consulting. We all have some expertise and experience in us, not just yoga teaching, but just based on our personal experience. We have something to share with people. I have on my website, you can book a call with me for 30 minutes. It's not specific, but if you want to book a call with me, you can pay for that call. It's $100 an hour. I just threw a random number out. If you want to talk with me, if you want my advice, you can book a call with me. Specialty event or workshop. These are really popular and common. Pick a specific topic and provide a workshop. I just saw an online promotion for a mandala arts and crafts creation workshop locally in my town here. And I thought, wow, that looks so fun. I want to go. It was $25, learn to create mandalas at a local yoga studio. So something specific and specialty like that. It doesn't even have to be yoga teaching. It can be mandala arts and crafts, vision boards, all of those things. Anything that people love getting together and communing in a group. And if you put a price to it, that's even better. There's value to it. An event or a weekly class series. You can do a recurring weekly class, attach that with a membership that's ongoing. Online courses. I have many online courses. They may or may not include video. You can do retreats or mini retreats. You can even do online retreats. that have various, usually retreats are different than workshops in the fact that retreats have various topics, and the purpose is for rejuvenation, less about learning and education, although there's some components of that too. Mini retreats or full retreats, half-day retreats, digital product downloads, ebooks, checklists, guides, manuals, things that will help solve people's problems, on-demand video replays, so people can buy them, their recordings anytime, and also referral income. If you are starting to teach online or building a Facebook group, you can do what's called affiliate marketing, although it's going to be a tiny bit. It's not a ton of money, but for example, you refer your favorite yoga mat that you bought on Amazon and you can make 4%. It's not a lot. Or you go to the company and sign up for their affiliate program and refer something that helps people that you endorse, that you're like, hey, I'm going to talk about this anyway. Here to my audience of 10 people even, I think you guys need this. Here's the link, and you can make an income that way. So I do also have additional videos on how to make, it was one of my recent videos is how to make $1,000 a month as a yoga teacher, 9 different ways. That's on YouTube. So here's like on my offering tree site, I do have classes. I have a book a call with me, 30-minute calls or research calls. I also have on-demand videos and workshops, replays available that you can purchase anytime. So the question is, what's stopping you? What is stopping you from actually getting out there and doing one of these many things? You don't have to do it all. You don't have to start doing all of it, but maybe it is creating that checklist guide or ebook or something that you have in your head just sitting there and you know people are going to love. With the scheduling software, yes, overall fear, I know. With scheduling software, Zoom, liability insurance, decent equipment, you can start earning an income right away as an online yoga teacher. But guess what? Without scheduling software, Zoom, insurance, decent equipment, you can start earning income right away as an online yoga teacher. Either way, you can start earning with or without a yoga certification. You can start earning income by sharing about yoga and your favorite things about yoga without actually teaching it. It's just your passion for what you love, for teaching, for yoga. So again, my example, in 2018, I created an ebook for yoga sequencing. I sold it for $27. Mostly it was YouTube generating the traffic, and I made $7,000. What did I do with that $7,000? Well, at the time I was really broke, so I was probably buying groceries, but I also bought this microphone I'm using here. It was $120. I needed a microphone. It came from my ebook sales. So it's not just the videos and not, that you're teaching from. You can do this. I know there's fear. It's putting yourself out there and feeling that fear and doing it anyway. It can be scary right away. So I do have a little companion guidebook that can walk you through some of this stuff too, ashesyoga.com/VYT, and that stands for virtual yoga teacher. So it's just a little workbook that has some exercises and some examples and links for you if you're looking for just a free resource that can help you. If you want to look at that, awesome, download that guide. And if you need more support, I am going to say it. I do have a membership that helps you with all the things, teaching tips, business marketing, basically what I've covered here today, but like super in depth. So the step-by-step guides, all of that stuff. Enrollment to that is closing on Friday, March 25th. And then you can, if you're watching the replay of this, you can join the waitlist. So the waitlist will be available and will open again at some point, but I am going to be starting with a new group on Friday or this coming week. So that's there for you, ashesyoga.com/membership. Just going to say that. You can also stay connected with me other ways. If for some reason you just have a random question about microphones, hit me up on Instagram. I love it. Send me a DM, a direct message, Ashes Yoga. My Facebook group is Yoga Sequencing and Teaching Tips. Great resource place to search for all the things in that group. And also on YouTube as Ashley Hagen or Ashes Yoga. Marie is in the membership. See, she loves it. Awesome. I've erased fear. Suzanne says I've erased her fear, or a lot of it. Okay, not all of it, but some of it. Okay, good. And then of course, I'm going to shout out to beYogi again, insurance, cover yourself. I know that was a big fear of mine was if I put myself on YouTube, then what if someone gets hurt? well, beYogi covers that. I also put disclaimers and have done everything that I can to make it as safe as possible. And that was how to teach yoga online affordably. Any other questions? I would be happy to leave some space to answer any. Did we catch any that I probably missed?
Ashley, you have been doing a great job figuring out your webinar and all these questions. So thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, you've honestly answered the majority of the questions that have come through, the themes of the questions. A lot just have to do with some of the legal stuff that, we didn't really touch on this, but you can just Google yoga liability waivers, beYogi, and we have a few blogs and webinars actually on that topic. So definitely check those out, beyogi.com. And I'm sure Ashley has some videos and topics on that through her platform, maybe.
Yeah, and I see questions on like music and the technicalities in Zoom. All of that is possible. Yes, I can answer all those questions. I probably won't here because the topic was more so about the cost of what it takes to teach online, less about the technicalities. So I do have just ask either in my Facebook group or search on my YouTube channel, and I do have answers to all that music and all that. So if you want music, it's not required though. Music with yoga teaching, not required. It might be an additional cost to get royalty-free music. It's just, that's kind of an added bonus thing.
Yeah. Just to comment on that, for all of you yoga teachers teaching on Zoom and pre-recorded videos on YouTube, it's very important to use royalty-free music and music that you have bought the rights to, just so your sound doesn't get taken away by the specific platform, YouTube especially. So that's a really great topic, but not the topic of today. And today was all about how to teach yoga online affordably. And thank you, Ashley, for going through, the equipment base of lighting, microphones. And you made such a great point about how, if you feel good, you usually, respond a little bit better. So if you sound good and you're confident in that, you can be confident in other things as well. But that is just, all of these things are just recommendations, and do what you need to do. But Ashley, has tested them all.
Yes, I try to test as much as I can. And I get a lot of questions like, what is the best microphone for me to get started? Or what is the best of something? The best of something is going to cost you a lot of money. So I more so believe when people ask, what's the best? It's more so what is affordable and good enough to make me feel confident. So that's what those are the recommendations I give, less about the absolute best in the industry, because most of us don't need that.
Yeah. And then finally, since we're a little bit over time, I just wanted to remind everyone to, connect with Ashley via her social media, her website, YouTube channel, all of the above. We will be sending out this recording and all the ways you can connect with both beYogi and Ashley in that email, and it'll come from Zoom/Lizzie. But definitely make sure to pay attention to that email, and that will be coming tomorrow. If you guys have any other questions about this topic, definitely reach out to either one of us and we can get you some answers. But we really enjoyed this topic, Ashley, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, great. Everyone have the wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you on the next one. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.